Hello, welcome to the Grand Prix podcast! Personal log. My name is Ice Cube. Entry 4729. Location, Marina Bay Paddock Club. Qualifying, hour 0. The freezer. Life is good in this freezer. It's minus 18 degrees. I'm surrounded by my cube mates, and we've got the perfect view of the TV screen showing qualifying. Outcast was right. What's cooler than being cool? Ice cold! Ladies.
Sorry.
What's cooler than being cool? Ice cold! God, I love being an ice cube in Singapore. Oh, wow. George Russell clobbered the wall in turn 16 during FP2. His front wing was absolutely destroyed, but during qualifying, he's kept his foot in. He's going for it. Provisional pole! Steve next to me goes, mate, we're going to have such a good view of the race tomorrow. Oh, Steve. Sweet, naive fucking Steve. Qualifying, hour 1. The glass. So, update. Max Verstappen just qualified P2 and he's furious about traffic from Norris during his final lap. Kimi Antonelli's disappointed with P4. Both Williams got disqualified for DRS failures and I've just been selected. They've dropped me into a glass. Premium Paddock Club cocktail. $22. You have no idea how I feel right now. Oh, of course you do. You can literally see right through me. I'm so lucky. But it's 32 degrees out here. The sun set hours ago and it's still 32 degrees. Why is the air liquid? Wait, I'm getting smaller. This isn't right. The glass is cold, but the atmosphere is fighting back. Race day. Hour 22. The approach. Okay, I survived the night. Barely. I'm maybe 70% of my original size, but I'm hanging on. My human put me back in the freezer to save for later, which was kind. I didn't really appreciate him rubbing me over his forehead. But that trauma's behind me now. I'm healing. My human is walking towards the grandstand. I can hear the crowd, 300,000 people generating body heat. The cars are on the grid doing practice starts. I can feel the temperature rising with every engine rev. Steve? Oh, Steve. Steve evaporated sometime around 3 a.m. He never made it to race day. I'm doing this for both of us now.
Oh, Steve.
I never got to tell him how much I loved him.
Oh, get ice cubes.
I never said that I was a man.
Did we not have a name?
My name is Ice Cube.
Oh, why does the other cube have a name?
Because fuck off, I don't know.
Oh, say a name.
Patrick.
Oh,
Oh,
Ice Cubes.
I felt pressure to say a man's name.
Patty the Cube.
What?
Patty the Cube.
Patty the Cube.
Right, Reem's taking me out of the story. Put me back in.
Okay. The mechanics are sweating through their shirts, just standing there.
Bet he's liking that view.
You're adding a sexual element to this.
He's moved on from Steve quite fast.
You two need a cold shower. Lando Norris looks unwell. He's racing sick in this humidity. If he's struggling, what chance do I have? I'm 50% of my original mass. My edges are rounding. I'm losing definition. But the race is about to start and I'm going to witness this if it's the last thing I... Race start. Hour 23. The race. Formation lap! They're coming around! Russell on pole, Verstappen 2, Piastri, Antonelli, Norris behind. The ambient temperature has just spiked again. Why are there flames coming from the exhausts? It's just unnecessary. I'm 30% mass. The humidity is at, I don't even know. Yes, percent. Just yes. They're lining up on the grid. 5 red lights. This is it. The most spectacular street race on the calendar. 23 corners of chaos and I'm going to see lights out and... Wait. No. I'm too small. I can't. The glass is tilting. I'm sliding. No, not now. Not before. Not before. Just turn 1. I survived qualifying. I survived the night. I survived being in a tropical pressure cooker. And I'm going to miss the start. Tell the freezer. Tell them. Russell's on pole. Singapore is spectacular, but absolutely merciless. Tell Lewis I'll give Roscoe a big cuddle. Bloop. Welcome to the Singapore Grand Prix.
Wait, why do I feel like I need to cry?
Why are you tearing up? Why are you actually tearing up?
This could be a Disney movie.
Literally!
The Ice Cubes of F1.
Why was that heartbreaking?
Well, truth be told, I wanted to do a Babe Station inspired intro and you guys said no, so I had to find something better.
So you thought you'd make me cry?
Yes.
You've gone full delusional.
Yeah.
I think this is your most delusional intro yet.
Yeah, I think so too.
It was incredible, but so sad.
Thank you.
When he said, tell Lewis I'll give Roscoe a hug.
I know.
There was no need to touch the feel so early on.
I'm sorry. I thought it was... Honestly, I'm very talented. Why is there silence? What the fuck?
You're very creative.
Thank you. Everybody's so creative.
Very unique.
I need some time to recover.
Oh, God. I'm sorry.
Poor Steve.
Well, they both died.
Yeah, but I mean, Steve died first. Didn't even get to see the start.
That's
But neither
true.
did Patrick.
Well, he at least got to see them line up.
So Patrick was edged. He lost his edges and he was edged from seeing the race.
There's worse ways to go then. I have
How do we move on from this?
literally no idea how to reverse out of this. Oh, F1 pun. I've got no idea.
Well, you've given a qualifying recap.
I tried to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blended that in nicely.
Thank you so much.
Nav is traumatized.
So something you need to know about me is like stories about human people don't really get me, but animals, inanimate objects, for some reason,
Said the sociopath to the doctor.
for some reason they get me right in the feels.
Why do you look really tearful?
I genuinely like I was close to getting like very, very, very teary during that.
You're kidding.
It was sad.
It was a gay ice cube in Singapore. Was it the fact I mentioned Roscoe and also a dying ice cube?
Yes.
Okay.
Only the good die young.
It's true. What an effigy this ice cube will be for this podcast. But he died doing what he loved.
Nearly.
He did die.
But he nearly saw what he loved. He didn't actually get to. Why couldn't you have it where like he died after the first corner or something? So
Because we haven't seen the race yet, so what the fuck would I have said?
You could have made something up.
I made all of this up. It was an intro.
Let's move on from that ice cube.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, I'll find my pizzazz again.
Please do. F1 has travelled all the way to Marina Bay in the street circuit of Singapore this week, and this is a very relentless track because it's hot, it's humid, it's bumpy, similar level of precision that you drive around Monaco is needed, and there is quite a lot of turns you have to navigate. And on top of that, we've got a heat hazard this week
Oh yeah.
from the FIA. Reem, I'll throw to you. You're an expert in the heat hazard FIA cooling vest situation. So
Yeah,
tell
of
us
course.
everything you know about it.
So it's like a wetsuit.
What?
They wear it under. It's like it looks like almost like a burkini.
A
And-
bikini? What are you saying?
Right, disclaimer for the audience. Don't listen to what Reem's telling you now. Iz will come in afterwards with the actual stuff.
Hey, let me
Go
cook.
for it. You cook.
Let me cook.
You cook, Queen.
Okay, so
You're cooking with poison.
it's like a burkini, but without the head covering, right? And
That's where their balaclava and their helmet comes in. So,
yeah, exactly. So they don't need the actual cover up for the burkini, but they wear it under their suit, and it keeps them nice and cold because it is cold.
So it's a bikini that's been kept in the freezer.
Yeah,
Right.
and they wear that under their race suits so that they could stay cool during the race and they don't overheat.
So if it's been kept in the freezer, surely as soon as it touches
With
their
Patrick.
skin... We're trying to move on from that.
Oh.
I'm just getting emotional again. a little lips quivering again. And eyes are filling up with water.
Used to be with Patrick.
You maniacal motherfucker! I can only apologise. It's not true. We know it's not true. None of what Reem is saying is true.
Just need reassurance.
I
I'm a bit
understand that.
sensitive.
I understand that. I'm sorry for raising my voice. I'm just a bit exasperated. I've got three very unserious podcast hosts currently. Okay, denial is a river in Egypt. That answer is wrong. The answer is gay.
Like Patrick!
Okay, right. Yeah, nothing you said was correct. I really
Nothing.
have to reiterate.
They do wear it under their race suits.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, and it's long sleeved like a burkini.
Okay, I need a fun rewind noise if you wouldn't mind helping me with this. They were equally fucking awful. Try again.
This is a bikini.
Thank you. Much better.
You're welcome.
Jeez. During the 2023 Qatar Grand Prix, teams and drivers experienced particularly high temperatures and humidity. Lance Stroll and Alex Albon actually struggled to climb out of their cars at the end of the race. Oh. And Alex Albon needed some of his mechanics to actually help him get out of the car because he was exhausted. What?
It's a heavy man.
What?
She said heavy man.
Are you fat shaming Alex Albon?
What's wrong with you?
You've lost your head, girl.
And Esteban Ocon had an awful time. He said, I was throwing up by lap 15 or 16. So for 2 laps, he was just throwing up inside his helmet whilst he was driving an F1 car.
That must have stunk.
Yeah.
I don't think we particularly sealed the cockpit too well. It must have been about 80 degrees inside the car. I'm glad next year we'll come back here in December. So after that race, which was really drawing the line between, like, is this actually okay to go racing? Because that's crazy. The FIA began an analysis on how similar race conditions could be managed better in the future. And ahead of the 2025 season getting underway, it was confirmed that a heat hazard could be declared if pre-weekend weather forecasts predicted temperatures of 31 degrees Celsius or above at some point during a sprint or Grand Prix. And the teams are notified of the declaration by the FIA, as they have been in Singapore, and subsequently they need to fit a driver cooling system. Singapore's got a bit of a reputation for being one of the toughest races on the calendar, both physically and mentally, and the demands of driving an F1 car around city streets added to by high temperatures and humidity levels. So this is defined as a system with the sole purpose of providing additional cooling for drivers under a heat hazard scenario. Several components are involved, including a pump, plumbing and thermal store with cold fluid generated by the system delivered to the drivers through a specialist fireproof vest featuring variable tubes. Some professionals in the sport have called this a burkini. That's obviously a lie. Why did your face light up?
That's true.
She's like, fuck, I made that up. I was so right.
I've never seen your eyes go so white. That was no. All of the core system components must be fitted to the cars this weekend, though drivers are currently permitted to choose whether or not they wear the vest itself as work continues on fine-tuning the design. So if people haven't seen it, under their race suit, they obviously have a very tight-fitted fireproof layer. Which,
AKA burkini.
No, nowhere true.
Let it go.
But if you haven't seen it, they have these vests that are very tight fitted, and then on top of that they have all of these plastic tubes that have cooling fluid going all around it, and the cooling system is that it will pump cold fluid around their body, and it's on their front and their back, and it's meant to keep them cool in the car.
They should start selling these just in general.
No.
For like summer periods.
How excessive. The point isn't that it's 30 degrees, it's so hot. It's that when they're in the cockpit, it's like 60 degrees.
Yeah.
But I mean, just imagine walking out and about in the summer when it's 30 degrees and having something pumping cool liquid.
Just buy a can of
onto you.
mist.
Yeah, but this is mist for all over.
Ew, I hated that sentence. Given that they've got extra mandated equipment and an increase to the standard 800 kg minimum car weight limit, it will come into play with 2 different numbers applied. An additional 2 kg for practice, qualifying and sprint qualifying sessions, and 5 kg for the sprint or Grand Prix. 2 different limit increases essentially mean that the teams can fit the system and its core components without needing to fill it with fluid in free practice and qualifying, given the shorter nature of these sessions. So it's a choice that they can do whether they do or not, but it seems to be incredibly well received by all the drivers, and I can fucking see why.
Fair enough.
So there you go. It's a heat hazard. It's hot, baby.
Did you see Kimi Antonelli returned with his moon jacket thing? So there was a race last year, I think, where George Russell was wearing it, and it's like this big silver sort of bomber jacket sort of thing, and it looks like, you know, he's wearing like an astronaut suit or something.
I hear it.
Kimi Antonelli was wearing it this weekend, and it's essentially like it's all shiny silver, sort of like he's wrapped in tinfoil, and it reflects the heat away from him. And then it also has like a big sort of like vent in the side that's cooling the air and blowing it into him, so it kind of like inflates a bit as well.
I thought you meant it as like a fashion choice.
No.
Same. I thought that too.
Wait until you see it.
Speaking of fashion choices, can we talk about Lewis Hamilton's new helmet?
Go on, talk about Lewis Hamilton's helmet. you
It's
dirty bitch.
gorgeous. It's shiny. It's golden.
This is why
It's
you don't do the
white.
talking points. Speaking of Lewis Hamilton,
Oh,
our thoughts and prayers are with Roscoe.
yes.
So for those that don't know, after 12 years of having his faithful companion by his side, Lewis was forced to bid farewell to Roscoe on Sunday night, with the British Bulldog having gone into a coma during a battle with pneumonia, and Roscoe passed away in Hamilton's arms last Sunday night following a battle with pneumonia, leading the 7-time world champion to post touching eulogies to his pet on social media. Obviously, Lewis doesn't have any children and he doesn't have like a known partner, although, my God, he's been seen with quite a few celebs over the years. It's well known how important Roscoe is to him as well as his family.
And the paddock as well.
And the paddock's very true. So he said he got a lot of messages and it was very overwhelming, to be honest, just to see how many people Roscoe touched around the world. Really heartwarming to receive them. So he had a lot of people that were being very supportive. And even the FIA sent him a message.
Oh,
And so did Ferrari,
yeah,
which I thought was quite
as
nice.
they should.
I thought the FIA was very sweet, but also very random.
Yeah.
We will be hoping that he has a good race in Roscoe's honour.
Yeah.
And with that, should we get on to the race?
Let's do this.
Let's do it!
McLaren are world champions again.
I didn't see that coming.
No, shocked me.
No, well done. It's so obvious. Oh, what can you say? No, seriously, what can you say? I mean, they've done fantastically this year, and it's not to knock all of the hard work. I suspect Andrea Stella is a big part of this. But it's so fucking obvious that this was going to happen, that whenever this happens and a team managed to win the Constructors title before the end of the season, you end up being like, oh, boring, who cares? But that is undermining an actual achievement, and I haven't achieved that, so there we go. But well done to McLaren. They've had some hard years, and they've gone from literally right at the bottom, sort of midway, sort of trying, and now the top.
Yeah.
Back to back. Haven't done that since like the 90s, I don't think.
Yeah.
It's too bad, though, that their win is overshadowed by potential drama
Drama!
between Piastri and
Yes.
Norris.
And I did notice that they had like a little celebration up on the podium, and Oscar Piastri was nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, there's actually footage of him in the media, like where they're doing the press interviews, and he's in the background
And the
watching their
TV is on there,
celebration
yeah.
and just looking frustrated.
Tea.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about it. So we had a surprise pole position from Mr. George Russell, known as Mr. Saturday because he's got a fantastic ability to put a
Yes.
qualifying lap together, which he done did it on Saturday, and he's now done did it on a Sunday. But incredibly random. So that is his second win of the season by hook or by crook. I've no idea how he's managed to do that, but it's also his 5th career triumph, and he was able to lead from the lights to the flag with a 5.4 second margin over Verstappen, which is fucking impressive.
Yeah.
But
And there was a feeling that he was owed a Singapore win.
yes. Singapore hasn't been his mate, really, has it?
No, they haven't been friends.
That track has owed him a victory, and he's finally got it.
Yes.
And he could have got it a few occasions, and let's be honest, a few mistakes and whoopsies from George later.
Yeah.
And he's now been able to do the whole race without a single boo-boo.
I was doing the Singapore tier list, and I watched that footage of George Russell crashing in 2023 when he was getting to the final laps and he was close to leading. He was in the top 3. And ended up just crashing.
Yeah.
And then him going, no, on the radio. So good for him.
The funny thing is there's a famous quote in racing, and I think it was from Ayrton Senna, that said, if you no longer go for a gap, then you're no longer a racing driver. And there was a board that said there was a board that said Singapore, and he happened to crash exactly where it said gap in Singapore. So people were like, if you no longer go for a gap, you're no longer a racing driver.
I
'Cause he
loved that
crashed
meme when
into
that
it.
came out.
It really made me laugh. So everyone was like, what was he to do? But no, that was that was a bit of a heartache for him. But I mean, when the car's in the right, it's similar to Max, when the car's in the right window and he's comfortable and raring to go, he gets it done.
Yeah.
I think he did fantastically
Does
today.
indeed.
But further back, there was some drama. Because whilst the Papaya boys are further back, they didn't seem to have as great of a qualifying, did they?
No.
Wasn't run and done for them. Obviously, Oscar Piastri qualified 3rd. He was looking very strong in free practice 3. But he had a tricky Q1, and then he had yellow flags that disrupted his first run, forced him to use a second set of tyres. And he admitted that he wanted more and thought they could have achieved more, but ultimately didn't have the pace to challenge for pole, which was very rare for McLaren nowadays. And Lando Norris could only manage 5th. And whilst he was feeling a bit under the weather, he said he just wasn't able to drive to the limit of where he needed to be. I thought it was interesting because Andrea Stella also said that he saw the pattern between Baku and Singapore resembling Canada, where the braking and the bumps of the curves creates a challenge for their car. And Canada is exactly where George thrived and won the race. And so that makes sense that it carried over this time. But we got into the first corner, but we saw that Norris clipped the rear of Verstappen's Red Bull, banged wheels with his teammate, and then damaged his front wing end plate and managed to scamper off into the distance away from Piastri. And
who was not a happy bunny.
And said it wasn't very team-like.
Yeah.
And if I'm honest, the rest of the race seemed very unhappy and very out of sorts. He got told, we'll discuss it and look at this after the race, Oscar, and he basically said, that's not fair. And, I mean, I think when he looks at it on the monitor at the end of the race, I think he'll be able to see a bit more where the team are coming from. But it does then come back to the whole Papaya rules, and it should be the most simple rule in the world. It's race clean, don't hit into each other, but race hard, go for it. And yet I feel like there's always an asterisk or an underscore or a little paragraph of terms and conditions that come with the Papaya rules that makes it more tricky for them to just get on and race hard and clean.
They've set a precedent now. And they've made Piastri give back position to Norris in, when was it, Monza?
Yeah.
And he had to basically do him a favour. And then in this race, there was an incident with Norris, but then later on as well, they pitted Norris first. He had a very fast pit stop. I think it was only like 2 or 2.5 seconds. And then Piastri had a slow one, which was like 5 seconds. And that was like 2 things in the race where they didn't care about Piastri, didn't make him swap with Norris. And I think it's fair enough that he's frustrated, because if it was that they always let both of them race freely, and they never did the whole swap positions, whatever, then it's fine. For them to have done what they've done today, then it's completely fine, because they'd understand it's all about skill and competing with your teammates. I think to Piastri, to him, it probably feels like favoritism towards Norris.
Yeah, I think with the Papaya rules, where they've fucked it up is the whole Monza situation. I think if you're gonna say you can race each other, but you have to do it clean and fair, that means you then don't obstruct or avert the way that the race is going to end. You don't get involved in it. You just say, when you guys are on track, we'll do things the way that the team normally does things. We'll do things as if you were racing anyone else, okay? But that then means that you don't ask one driver to give the other driver a tow during qualifying so that they can qualify ahead of them. That means that if someone has a slow pit stop, you don't then say, oh, but yeah, we messed up, so swap them around and give up that position, because that's part of racing as well. So I think if they hadn't have got involved so many times, and let's be real, for Lando's benefit, then this would be like a run and done, like, look, it's just hard racing, but, you know, just calm down and go get him on track. But the fact that they have said on so many occasions, we allow you guys to race on track, and then have got involved at other points to favour Lando, I can completely see why Piastri would be pissed. I'd be pissed.
Yeah, I think it's a bit lopsided in terms of how much Piastri's asked to work for the team that also benefits Lando in that moment, let's be honest. Because we had it with lap 22, Leclerc came into box onto hard tyres, came out in P10, and he was pitted into traffic, got past Hulkenberg, and then a few laps later on lap 26, Lando got a call from his radio engineer asking, are you willing to let Oscar pit before you so that we can try and cover off the threat of undercut from Leclerc? And Lando was like, yes, no. And I think that was probably him floating back to Monza and was like, no, I don't want that fucking drama. Let's not worry about it. But ultimately, if it was going to benefit the team should have just taken precedent and done it. And said, Lando will explain after, it's from the threat of Leclerc's for track position, and make that executive decision. I think a lot of the dialogue that these drivers end up having is having open conversations endlessly about the decisions they're going to make, and then doing very strange and very obvious dummy calls that everyone can see is very obviously a dummy call.
So cringe.
And I've said it earlier on this podcast before, like, don't do that. I don't like it when you do that. Because I think it might have been early as China they did it, and it makes me very uncomfortable.
So awkward.
And I
Even
always
the
think,
commentators were laughing
yeah,
about
they
it.
didn't buy it. No one, because who's like, it's very rare that they say, you know, box to overtake Verstappen. You know, they might say it in other ways, but it's sometimes it's box for the lead, and it just came across so obvious. And like all of the engineers like holding onto the tires, like looking into the barrel of the camera, like, we're gonna pit. It just doesn't come across very legit.
Promise.
Pinky sweat.
My fingers were crossed.
Like, Red Bull is such a competitive team. They know their shit. They obviously were just like, whatever, bro. Just do it if you want to do it.
Pathetic.
Literally. So I enjoy the fact that there wasn't much on during this race. Let's call a spade a spade. It wasn't the Singapore Grand Prix I've come to know and love. It was a bit more. There was no fucking safety cars.
I know.
I couldn't believe it.
There was a yellow flag for about a second, and then it was gone. And it was like, I think it was Hulkenberg.
Yeah.
And he almost
Just crowd
crashed and
around.
then immediately went back on the track. And I'm like, listen, I really like Hulkenberg, but like, he could have given us drama.
Yeah. Do you know that? Guess the eight that. Oh, I nearly said the fucking number. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot.
I'm going to say 8.
No. I was going to say, guess the safety car probability for this race.
80%.
83%.
Oh.
You are fucking clever now. But there's an 83% chance of having a safety car.
Yeah.
And we didn't have one last year, and we don't have one this year.
And there were so many people clipping the walls and stuff during qualifying, and then
Legit.
suddenly for the race they remembered how to drive.
I know, they all got out their system. We should stop that. I don't like that.
I feel like if you're at the back of the grid and you know you're not going to be in the points, make some drama.
Yeah.
Just crash about, start hitting into people, make the race interesting.
Not only that, this race is so hot and humid and sweaty and physical that drivers can lose up to 3 kg of body weight.
I
in
need
this.
to become an F1 driver.
Legit. Oh my lord.
I think they said Russell lost like 4. And that guy doesn't need to lose any.
They lose 3 kg in body weight throughout the course of that race.
Yeah.
You're telling me you're hot, you're sweaty, you've got some weird cooling fluid on your top. Someone's calling it a burkini on a podcast. It's all going on, and like none of them seem to lose any focus. Because I was
Yeah.
expecting some of the rookies to have some scraps and get a bit elbowy, you know, and give us a narrative for this race.
It was so boring. It was so boring. But back to McLaren, I think as well, to me, it seemed like they were a bit adamant on getting Norris to stay in the podium to get third place, because it meant that they would win constructors, and that was their focus, and that's why they weren't giving anything back to Piastri. But to me, it's like, you're already going to win it. You're 300 points above any other team on this track. So whether you win it now or whether you win it a few races down the line, it doesn't matter. You're going to win it anyway. There's absolutely no chance of any other team getting this constructor's title, because Max is carrying Red Bull one-handed, Ferrari aren't doing that great, and Mercedes are like on and off doing okay.
Yeah.
So
true.
I thought it was a bit stupid to just focus on that to get the win today, when you could have made sure that the team dynamics stay healthy, that you could have at least once given the favour back to Piastri, and then after that just let the team race.
I think this is going to change the dynamic in the team a bit now,
Oh yeah.
because now they don't have to worry about making sure that they're getting maximum points for the team. They can be a bit more selfish with it. So
Yeah.
I think the kitty cat claws are coming out.
Ooh.
I think that as well, though, for McLaren and Andrea Stella, Zach Brown, all of the people sitting on the pit wall and back at the factory in Woking, the driver's title is obviously important, and it's a very prestigious award, and it is a recognition that you have conquered, you know, a difficult calendar with all different types of tracks. You know, part of the point of having different types of circuits across the F1 calendar is because you want to have a driver that can cope with all these different types of nuances, and a car that can do the same. But you also ultimately want bragging rights.
Yeah.
I am number one. But for the team, they want the constructor's title. The constructor's title is their bragging rights.
That's what gives them the moolah.
It gives them the money, exactly. And if what they are really after, bragging rights are great, but they want money. They're coming into a new regulation cycle next year. They're going to want as much revenue, sponsorship, and help, because obviously, as we've spoken about in other episodes, sponsorships aren't just money anymore. You know, they're partnering with brands that can give them data, that can help them analyze things, that can help them with fuel understandings. You know, I've said that terribly, but you get the point. All of these things are very important. And if you've just won the constructors back to back, you're going to be getting first pick of the sponsors.
Yeah.
So cash is king, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
you know, that's the way. I get why their main focus was the constructors title, but what I would like to see now that Oscar crashed spectacularly badly in Baku, if you remember,
Yeah.
which was a real shock, and then this race was still in it, got it to the end, P4, nothing to be upset about. However, a very rattled Piastri. I haven't seen him like that frustrated and viscerally vocal about an issue before, and I think that might be the thing that changes it. And the fact that he felt that Norris
straw that broke the camel's back.
Exactly. And I'm interested to see if the constructors title is wrapped up now. Are we finally going to see just a back-to-back Papaya battle?
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
That's what I want to say. That's what everyone wants to fucking see, for God's sake.
Hey, Iz.
Hello.
Is this the first time that McLaren have had drama in Singapore?
Thank God for you. Thank God for you. It was 2008.
Oh.
Story time.
It was 2008.
I opened the freezer.
I'm an F duct in the F. No. It was 2008, and Lewis Hamilton was back in the hunt for the first World Championship in McLaren that wasn't Papaya. It was the 15th Grand Prix of the year, and we landed in
that wasn't Papaya?
The McLaren wasn't Papaya.
As in colour-wise?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's silver.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn.
Silver and red?
Yeah.
Ew.
No need for that. You look quite nice.
Okay.
When the 15th Grand Prix of the year landed in Singapore, Fernando Alonso was racing for Renault after leaving McLaren at the end of 2007 after a dramatic fallout with the team following the infamous Spygate scandal. Wee wee.
Dun dun dun. You remember Spygate? Yes.
You said it really quick, like you actually didn't. Like when a teacher asks you, like, were you listening? You're like, yep.
No,
Yep.
I remember Spygate.
Go on, give us bullet.
Yeah, why are you just staring back at us?
So, I forgot what year it was.
I just said it.
Oh.
2007.
2007. Okay. And there was someone
Whoa.
who... one of the McLaren people went to scan documents that were the blueprint of another team. Forgot which team it was. Was it Ferrari? Ferrari. And the printer shop guy was apparently a Ferrari fan, so he exposed them for that scandal, and McLaren got fined.
Yes.
Well done.
Thank you.
The biggest fine in sports history. And it
Damn.
was $100 million.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, there's a lot. Whilst Alonso had managed to get rid of his annoying teammate Lewis Hamilton, he'd also gotten rid of a chance to race in a competitive car. He started the Singapore Grand Prix in 15th, and an early pit stop made things worse and sent him to the back of the grid. 3 laps later, though, Alonso's new teammate, the Brazilian driver, Nelson Piquet Jr., appeared to lose control of his car and crashed into a wall, which triggered a safety car whilst the marshals cleared the wreckage. This was a prime opportunity for drivers to make a pit stop, and Alonso was the only driver who had already pitted. So whilst everyone else came in for fresh rubber, Alonso managed to slingshot himself right back up the order against all the odds and ahead of all the favourites. Whilst Felipe Massa, who was racing for Ferrari and was in a championship battle with Lewis Hamilton, had a terrible race, he accidentally drove out of the pits with the fuel hose still attached and found himself plumb last. Alonso went on to win the race, but something about the way he leapfrogged up the order smelt fishy to the FIA and to Felipe Massa, who ended up finishing in 13th. The timing of the safety car just seemed too convenient. But that evening, whispers began up and down the paddock, and other team principals watched Alonso on the podium and found his celebrations strangely muted.
Oh.
A former F1 team principal who watched from the pit wall said that didn't look like a guy who completely out of the blue just won a race for the first time. He looked like a guy who had something on his mind. Midway through the 2009 season, Renault boss Flavio Briatore made a call to dump Nelson Piquet Jr. after he failed to score a single point through 10 races. Shortly after, a story appeared in the Brazilian media.
Ooh.
Even though the FIA never took any action over the strange Singapore incident, Globo TV, amazing name, made the explosive claim that Piquet's crash in the race might not have been an accident after all. He'd been ordered to drive his car deliberately into a concrete wall at high speed to help Alonso improve his track position, setting off a chain of events that had potentially cost Massa a world championship and Brazil its first title since Senna.
Damn.
Max Mosley called an emergency meeting of the World Motorsport Council to investigate the scandal. After Spygate, Crashgate made the sport look like it was lurching from one crisis to the next. What was meant to be a quest for an advantage and a competitive edge morphed into something much more toxic. The headlines weren't talking about how teams were innovating motorsport technology, they were asking if F1 was broken beyond repair. The FIA investigation showed that Renault had asked Piquet to crash his car on purpose. Before the race, the team bosses had even sat down with him to point out on the map the precise corner where he should do it.
Damn.
They told him that turn 17 was really rather ideal because there were no cranes there, which meant that any car that crashed there would take longer to clear away and would require a safety car. The plan was low-key kind of brilliant, can't lie, except for the fact that anything a driver did would turn up on the telemetry data readings. Specifically, the data showed that when Piquet entered turn 17 and felt his wheel spin, he had the most unnatural reaction for any driver who might have thought he was losing control of his car. What do you think he did?
I don't know.
He hit the gas.
Yes, he did.
Oh.
He's losing control of his car, so he decided to try and speed it up.
The council didn't have to deliberate for too long to decide that Renault was guilty. The FIA ruled Renault not only compromised the integrity of the sport, but also endangered the lives of spectators, officials, other competitors, and Nelson Piquet Jr. himself. Renault was handed a suspended sentence of 2 years with the promise that another incident would lead to immediate disqualification.
Ooh.
The man who really paid the price was Flavio Briatore.
Yet he's back in the sport.
Yeah. So F1 really paid the price. The former Benetton commercial whiz, who'd overseen Michael Schumacher's earliest triumphs and Alonso's 2 world titles, was given a lifetime ban from the sport, brackets, which was later cut to roughly 3 years by a French court. But the thing that took the biggest punishment? The sport itself. Former rally driver Ari Vatanen, who was running to succeed Max Mosley as FIA president, told the Sunday Telegraph, "The image of the sport has been battered recently. Look at all the leaked dossiers. We've gone from Spygate to Crashgate with many other things in between. What the public sees is a corrupt sport. They do not trust it, and who can blame them?"
Yeah, fair.
And that is all she wrote about the Singapore 2008 Crashgate Grand
So
Prix.
they didn't get fined? They just got the ban?
Just got the ban.
Damn. Was Alonso aware of it?
Yeah.
Like,
That's why
at
he-
the time it was happening?
Yeah, that's why his celebration on the podium was a bit flat.
Ah, that kind of ruins Alonso's character. Like,
Alonso, pack it up, baby.
like
Well,
his-
the fans
his
don't
ethics.
agree because he got driver of the day today.
Did he? For what? What did he do today?
For the legendary Twashgate. May it continue. I can't lie. If fucking Aston Martin told him we're going to do Crashgate 2.0, he'd be like, no, do it.
I wouldn't put it past Lawrence Stroll.
But do you want to hear some even more tea?
Go on.
Yeah.
Felipe Massa famously missed out on the 2008 F1 World Championship by a single point to Lewis Hamilton at the season finale in Brazil, which came weeks after the controversial Crashgate scandal in Singapore. And Massa was leading from pole position at the time of Piquet's crash, which turned the race on its head, and the Ferrari driver eventually finished 13th, with the lost points proving costly in his title battle with Hamilton. Massa announced his intention to take legal action against the FIA, Formula One management, and Formula F1 chief executive Bernie Ecclestone in 2023, following an interview where Ecclestone revealed he and the late FIA president Max Mosley were made aware of the true circumstances around Alonso's Singapore win during the 2008 season. Bernie admitted the sports authorities opted to take no action to protect F1 from a huge scandal.
Oh.
Massa's hearing is set to begin at London's High Court on October 28th, 2 days after the Mexican Grand Prix, and Massa is seeking up to $82 million or £60 million in damages. Massa vowed to fight to the very end for just a fair outcome, stating that accountability is key to preventing future fraud and that those entrusted with protecting the sport directly violated their duties. Bernie argued that the 2008 Singapore race cannot be wiped from history, stating there is no way in the world that anyone could change or cancel that race, and that Max Mosley knew there was not enough evidence at the time to do anything. He then indicated his 2023 interview with F1 Insider has been lost in translation, claiming the interviewer's English wasn't that good and questioning how it could be heard in court. Okay, well, we sort of ended on racism there. Sorry, what the fuck? What the fuck?
I mean, so the whole reason why Massa essentially wants that race to be wiped from history is because if it does, and the points from that get basically eradicated, he becomes world champion.
Yes.
Mm.
So that would mean that Lewis would go down to being a 6-time world champion,
Yep.
and Massa would get 1.
Yep.
But I would argue whether there was a set up predetermined safety car or a legit safety car, Ferrari still fucked up his pit stop, which is why he tumbled so far down the order
Yeah.
by leaving the fuel tank on.
True.
So I think if he had had like a flawless pit stop and still tumbled down the order enough to lose the points, then I would get it a bit more.
Yeah.
The reason why he tumbled so far down is because of the fact that the fuel pump was left still attached.
Yeah.
It's not completely all external circumstances that led to him being out of the points during that race. Do you know what I mean?
He also didn't have a flawless season.
Yeah.
He also made other mistakes and, self-inflicted errors throughout that season.
Yeah.
Both him and Lewis did throughout that season. So it wasn't as though they both tussled between 1 and 2 and they didn't put a foot wrong. As you've seen with this season between Lando and Max and Piastri, they've all made errors and problems and throughout their season. That's how racing is. I think if you pinpoint it that way to make your point even wider, yes, he made mistakes and things went wrong for his race during the Singapore Grand Prix, but he also had the same thing with every other situation. If you start doing that, there's other things he could have done that meant he would have had a less of a points deficit to Lewis, and it would have been, the championship wouldn't have gone to Lewis in the end. It's a bit controversial because some people say what happened was illegal, and, Massa has every right to say, well, that's not cool. But other people say, yes, but it's also so long ago, and also 2021 happened, and there's all sorts of other things.
To say, I think that would
set a precedent.
Yeah, a very dangerous precedent, because if Lewis then drops down to becoming a 6-time world champion and the championship goes to him, then Lewis could argue for 2021.
Yeah.
And say that he actually deserves the championship for that year because of what happened, because the FIA has acknowledged that what they did was wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they can't, because I don't think they can afford to be able to doing that for every single case.
I've seen lots of debates on this online, and lots of people say the way that the FIA handled it at the time was not correct.
Yeah.
And that it was corrupt in itself for it to be saying Bernie saying oh, well, we didn't want a big scandal, so we didn't want to cover it up. And coming off the back of Spygate, you can understand that. Bernie Ecclestone was a business-minded character, and he wanted to make sure that the sport succeeded. And having a massive scandal in 2007, going into a massive scandal in 2008, he was trying to cover it up, and that's not cool, but that is what happened.
The truth always comes out.
Yes. I think maybe it's more of an argument about the FIA needing to tighten up and not make corrupt decisions.
Yeah.
How about that? That would be great. So that is the tea surrounding the 2008 scandal in Singapore.
Damn.
Bet you didn't know about that?
I did. I put it in the tier list.
Oh.
Clearly you don't watch them.
I bet someone listening doesn't know. If you're listening to this, say, now I do.
I'm pretty sure you've mentioned it in previous episodes.
Why are you talking over them for?
Since we've already spoken about one Ferrari Singapore move going wrong, should we talk about another?
Ugh, yikes. Yes.
I thought it was very bold of them to pit Lewis late in the race to give him soft tyres to charge after Antonelli and Leclerc. I feel like normally Ferrari's strategy is very simple. It's no, we've done the one pit stop that we've planned for and we're not going to do anything else. They're quite risk averse.
Yes.
So I think the fact that they saw that he had a free pit stop because Lawson was so far behind and, pit him onto the softs and then said, charge at it. I was quite happy for them doing that because I thought that was a good, sensible, clever move. And to be fair, Lewis was catching up at a rate of knots and managed to catch Leclerc and overtake Leclerc, and then got very, very, very close to overtaking Antonelli, and then the Ferrari gods looked down at him, laughed, and then said, have this.
Yeah, kind of whoop ass. Yeah, I mean, Ferrari seem to be following a weird trope where they come into Friday and they're really red hot, and then they go into the final practice session and they still seem like they could be very much in the mix. Q1, they seem very strong, and then everything starts to just fall apart. Q2 starts to be a struggle. Q3 becomes just kind of not quite there. Leclerc will pump in some really good laps and it just doesn't quite have the same level of pace as the front runners.
I almost feel like McLaren, Red Bull, McLaren, Max, and and George kind of sandbag a bit during Q1 and Q2, and they're just let's just play with these Ferrari boys. Let's just let's just let them think that they have it in the bag and they're going to qualify on pole, and then in Q3 they're just and this is our real pace.
Yeah, I do feel like they kind of sail off into the distance and Ferrari are kind of left, in their
tail
wake.
Between their legs.
Yeah, that didn't go quite how we wanted. Lewis had a really poo start. Leclerc was able to make up some places. and get ahead of him. I think it was the same sort of thing. They kind of stalled out. They didn't really have anywhere properly to go. Leclerc said that, Singapore was one of his favourite tracks. I don't know that today would have been one of his favourite races, though.
No.
They were kind of stuck in that sort of not fast enough for the top guys, slightly ahead of the midfield, just kind of in their own race, with Antonelli keeping them as the sandwich filling between the pair of them. I agree. They had a massive gap behind Lewis, and it was like 52 seconds or something ridiculous. When they were showing it, we obviously were locked into a death match between Lando Norris and Max Verstappen, where it was like, is Lando going to overtake? And no, it was just endless.
Yep.
And there was other things happening, and we weren't cutting to it. So FOM and F1, please get on top of that, because that was annoying. So in the small screen that I could see, I saw a little spark, and Lewis randomly lost 0.6 on the straight, and I was like, what the hell was that about? And it was actually his brakes going. I thought he hit the wall, because I thought maybe just, I don't know, with Lewis's season, I mean, why wouldn't he have hit the wall? But instead he had his brakes go. But apparently they had to do lift and coast most of the race, so we're back to this again with overheating. And then Charles Leclerc sounded like he had the same issue with his brakes, so it just sounds like overheating, which is what they have a lot. My issue for Ferrari is that they've made a car that doesn't seem to have any particular strengths.
Yeah.
I've yet to see them have a really strong showing that is like, and the Ferrari are able to do X, Y, Z. I just don't feel like they have anything that's particularly better than any other team on the grid currently.
It's the most red car.
That's true. I don't know. Haas is coming for them. So
it has a legendary presence. They've been in the sport the longest.
Legendarily shit. Nowadays.
Just nowadays.
For a while.
That's true.
I can imagine he would have been very frustrated, because he did manage to get himself up to, he was basically on track to finishing the race in P5, which would have been ahead of where he actually started the race. And then suddenly, he was slowing down, and then he lost out to Leclerc because he was basically just trying to coast the car home and make sure that he didn't end up in a wall because he had no brakes. So he ended up down one position, and by the time he crossed the line, what had gone from 40-second gap to Alonso behind him, it was 0.4, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, now Alonso's going to pass him. Luckily for Lewis, he didn't. But then he also, where he had no control over his brakes, he had 6 instances of track limits on like the last 2 laps alone, and that then meant that he got a 5-second time penalty.
I don't think that's fair that he got a penalty for that. Because there's even a radio message that I saw on Twitter after the race, and they were telling him that he's gotten a 5-second penalty, and he was saying like, but I don't have brakes, so there's nothing that I could do about it.
I've got no brakes, can't catch a fucking brake.
Yeah, but
wish I was on a brake.
Literally, but he's like, surely there should be like an exception, because this is like out of his control, and yet they still gave it to him.
No, because then the FAA would argue that actually he should have stopped and pulled over if his car wasn't in a safe condition to drive. Then he shouldn't be driving and putting himself and others at risk.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Apparently, as they crossed the line, obviously we had, the cameras were showing everyone celebrating in the grandstands about McLaren getting the most predicted victory ever. But they weren't showing the fact that Alonso was catching Lewis at a rate of knots to the line.
Yeah.
And we missed the fact that apparently Fernando Alonso said, I cannot fucking believe it. And then managed to get him on the last 2 corners, and then replied saying, is it even safe to drive with no brakes? And I think that is the point, isn't it? The point is that he got there right at the end, and he was pushing, and Lewis is unable to properly stop himself in corners. And yes, he was dropping his pace down. It wasn't as though he was trying to razz it to the same speed as everybody else on the grid. But it's still like, if you have that question over your front wing end plate, Lando obviously got damage on the first lap from bumping into Verstappen. And there was a question from the commentators over whether the FIA might say he has to come in and change his front wing because it's not safe. Is that not the same thing?
Yeah.
A car that can't brake, even if they're going slowly, a slow car compared to the rest of the field is not safe either.
Yeah.
So I kind of get that he was cruising around as much as he could, but I think the penalty is completely deserved, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah.
But what positive...
He still got points. He still finished in 8th place, so he got 4 points. And Alonso eventually, took his place and got all of his points. So,
but what positive do you take for Ferrari? Because they weren't especially quick in qualifying. They didn't seem to make much of an impact during the race. And then they both had brake issues. All I feel like they're doing recently is just swapping the cars around. Who
Yeah.
gives a fuck where they finished? Last time it was like 8th and 9th. This time it's 6th and 8th. It's not great.
Yeah.
And you see people like Mercedes. Kimi Antonelli's had a great run of form. He had a real puna for a few weeks, and he seems to have been really on it this weekend.
Yeah.
George Russell has absolutely relished in the opportunity of that car seeming a lot more easy to handle. You've obviously got Max. I mean, Max was driving around 1,000,001 bloody issues today.
Yeah.
God, there's no other racer like Max Verstappen.
Boy, did he let everyone know about it as well.
Literally, I mean, he had Lando Norris in his DRS for God knows how many laps, and his radio message would be like, "The brakes are fucking awful," and he's still razzing it, no problem. But with Ferrari, I just feel like they've got two fantastic drivers, and they've got a lot of clever people in that camp, but they're just dawdling about, not really making much impact left or right, and it doesn't seem to be any track that really seems to be something they can go for a race win on. So
Since you mentioned the performance of George Russell and Kimi Antonelli, what have we got about contracts?
Ooh.
the negotiations are dragging on.
Just a tad.
It's sort of like when you have a couple and they always say they're going to get married one day and then they never seem to actually get anything done with it. But Toto Wolff said that they are super near. He's so young and hip. They are super near finalising a contract with George Russell for the 2026 season. He said this as Russell managed to get pole for Singapore. But he's been putting in a lot of impressive performances, and for whatever reason, I mean, Toto's hanging out on yachts in Sardinia with a certain four-time world champion, not giving George a contract. After talks with Max seemed to end this year, Toto's confirmed that the focus of the team was to retain Russell and Kimi, and we are super near something like that. So they are, but they're going to get that contract signed. Rarely, whenever George speaks, a lot of the time I do think he sort of waffles a lot. But I really agreed with him. He said that this was one of my most dominant wins, and I think I'm driving better than ever this season. And I actually agree with that. I think that he hasn't got the car to do him justice, but I think he did a fantastic drive today.
Yeah.
He didn't make any silly mistakes. And also, we normally hear George waffling on the radio saying what about if I don't drink my drink, I keep my eyes closed, I spin my car around 4 times and I don't pit, will I win then? He kind of adds all these loads of variables and he's desperate to win. But today he was focused. Mercedes was saying that they were just managing his pace, managing his tyres, and he didn't really need to manage his pace. He was ahead and had a lot of pace in the bag.
Yeah.
And Max was no threat to him.
I think by the time he did his first pit stop, he had an 8-second gap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he created a fantastic first stint where he was able to just build that gap. I sincerely was not expecting that.
No.
And I think if we had a Max Verstappen without any of those downshift problems and issues that he was having, the race would have turned out very differently. But it didn't. That's it went George's way. So he deserves a contract. I do feel that Toto fucking around and taking so long is kind of undermining. It's kind of undermining how good his season is currently.
I was going to ask you. I don't know how many details about the contract negotiations are out, but do you think there's potentially a case of because they want to try and get Verstappen to join Mercedes, maybe not next year, but the year after, maybe they're offering George a much shorter contract or a year-on-year basis contract, and
I think that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and he's trying to say, no, you keep me for longer, you give me a better contract because I've become such a good driver.
I think what they've done, I think it's like a boy asking a girl out to the prom. He's got the girl that's, a sure thing, but he really wants the popular kid. That's the one he's really after, but she's not interested whatsoever. And he keeps taking her out for ice cream and all sorts, and she's still not giving up. So, he's got the sure thing in the bag, but whilst he's courting the popular girl, the sure thing that's actually beautiful in her own right is getting neglected.
Yeah.
So, weird analogy to one side.
I thought it was a brilliant analogy, but I think that you still believe in the innocence of youth. I don't think he's taking her out for ice cream.
Max has a contract for next year with Red Bull.
Yeah.
So it's all done and dusted for now. I mean, they're not worth the paper they're written on, really. But I think that with the new regulation cycle, I think that might be the thing that's throwing people off.
But this was what I was saying. I think everyone just stay put. See what your team does with the new regulations, and if you don't like it, move out the next year once you've got an idea of who's got a grip of the regulations. Because what usually happens is one team has a wonderful car that meets it completely, and then the other teams will slowly try to copy and find out as much as they can about the car that's got it right. So find out where you are on that pecking order of the constructors for the first year and then assess your options for the next year.
I agree. There's a lot of whispers. There's whispers that Piastri might move off somewhere else.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's rumours that Charles Leclerc is waiting to see what 2026 car and he might move.
Oh.
There's rumours that 2027 Carlos Sainz might come back to Ferrari
Oh.
after Lewis has retired.
He looked good in red.
So
He does. He's been in Ferrari. Stop being a fake fan.
so the main rumour is Leclerc leaves, I don't remember where he's going, Mercedes. Leclerc leaves to go to Mercedes. Lewis Hamilton retires. Sainz takes Hamilton's seat and Piastri takes Leclerc's seat. So then you'd have Sainz and Piastri as your two
Oh,
Ferrari
that would make
drivers.
me so uncomfortable.
Why?
What the
I
fuck?
don't know, it's just weird.
What are
That would
you
be
talking
so
about?
weird. Because
I don't
Charles-
actually think that Piastri would suit red.
No, I don't
I
think
don't think
so
he'd
either.
suit Ferrari. I think he's. Why the fuck would he leave to go to Ferrari?
Yeah, downgrade.
And also, Charles is Ferrari. Like, I don't know. I just, like, he's so the brand. Like, Lewis is new, and I think the red.
But
really
Charles
suits
is
him.
also depressed.
Yeah,
And at what point do you take yourself away from a toxic relationship?
yeah.
I also could see Charles in Mercedes.
Yeah.
I could see that.
I don't know.
Wholesome
Feels weird.
team vibe.
In black, he'd look very hot in black. He'd look
Yes.
hot in any colour, but he'd
Yeah.
look hot in black.
Yeah.
But my point is that where the regulations coming in and they're changing, everybody is sort of unsure. Because even Alonso was saying that he wants to race for a few more years. But he basically said, if the car in 2026 is really fucking good, they're going to get rid of me. so, you know, and he's being very honest about that.
He's self-aware.
Yeah, but he has to be, right? You know?
Yeah.
So the question is that I think everybody's sort of holding station, but I think there could be a big reshuffle. And I think Toto's hesitancy is playing into that big regulation change where people really don't know what the pecking order will be. Of course, the big boys are still going to be at the top because, you know, but we don't know the actual order and who is going to be the dominant force because we weren't expecting McLaren to be so dominant this regulation cycle. So a lot can change. So there's lots of, as usual, there is 1,000,001 articles and all of it is like speculated. Trusted source. My mum told me, like, you know, there's nothing.
Source, trust me, bro.
Source, trust me, bro. Exactly.
And of course, the main rumour for next year is, of course, Isaac Hadjar going to Red Bull.
Oh, yeah.
It breaks my heart.
I really hope he doesn't.
He's going to.
Oh.
This is literally, I'm not adding to anything to this podcast by saying this, but it just made me laugh. He was having an ice bath, because in Singapore they have to have big ice baths after their sessions to cool their body temperature down.
Okay.
And you'll see on all the admin pages of F1, all of them just do like a thought photo
Those
shoot.
chaps. Yeah.
Like, that's what I meant. Why the fuck did I say a thought photo shoot? Them in their little bikinis. Pushing the little ass out. Sorry, I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, but he had a video where he was talking about like, you know, free practice and how things were going, and he was just in this little bath and he had a little duck and he called it Flyzak Hadjar. And
Oh.
I just thought, protect him.
Yeah.
What an adorable man.
I know.
Don't go to Red Bull. Please.
He's going to.
Huh.
It's like, I think it's like 99% done.
Well, his career was great while it lasted.
I actually think that Isaac Hadjar could be the person to change Red Bull for the better.
Oh. Well, I don't know. Everyone who seems to get the second seat at Red Bull just, you know, gets bad luck.
But you've got Lauren Mekies at the helm,
Mm.
and you've got someone like Isaac Hadjar that I think is a very exciting talent. And, well, I know it's not great, but we'll see. I have so little. I could feel the hope in me dying as I said that sentence, but still, I think it could happen.
Do you ever sit back when you're meant to be working and you just think, I wonder what Christian Horner's doing right now?
Oh, yeah.
That shouldn't be relatable content to you.
No, but I have thought about it. I'm not joking.
Just in your personal time.
Yeah.
Have you actually?
Yeah, I'd be like working on some of our social stuff and I'd be thinking, what's Christian Horner doing?
Do you want to know?
Oh, yeah.
He's been calling up all the F1 teams trying to get himself a job.
Oh, well, that's desperate.
Hey, we all need to do networking in this economy. You'd hope that he'd spend more time with family.
So first up, Haas team principal Aya Komatsu said that Horner had approached the team, but nothing has gone any further. It is finished.
Oh, damn.
Alpine's managing director, Steve Nielsen, said that Flavio Briatore was old friends with Horner. But he added, I don't know what they talk about. Everything I know is that there are no plans for Christian to come to Alpine, but that doesn't mean it won't happen.
Just for people listening who aren't that familiar with the sport, when she said old friends, they haven't been in a relationship. They are just old friends.
I don't think anyone would have assumed that.
I think they make a hot couple.
Oh. The boss of the new Cadillac team has ruled out any connection with Horner, saying that there have been no talks with Horner and there are no plans to do that. Andy Cowell, who is the CEO of Aston Martin, said that it looks as though Christian is ringing up pretty much every team owner at the moment. I can clearly say that there are no plans for the involvement of Christian in the operational or investment role in the future.
I feel like Toto would have been like, copy paste. No fucking interest.
The one that's a bit upsetting is that Williams team principal James Vowles said that Horner had not approached them.
Oh.
But he concluded that we are very happy with the structure and we have, and it's working. I don't see any reason to change that.
Williams, why are you seeking out drama? You're happily married to a lovely man called James Vowles and he's really working hard for you.
I just wanted to be considered.
Yeah, but that's just shitty.
Yeah, but imagine he approaches Alpine and Haas, who are dead last in the championship, but don't approach Williams.
Yeah, it's like when all of your friends are gossiping and you're just like, oh, so this person told me this and this person told me this, and then the one friend that's sat on the edge of the bench is just like, no one's told me anything.
But they're always the most wholesome ones.
Yes.
They're always the nicest ones that don't know about any of the drama.
Mm-hmm.
None of us know anything. No one tells us any drama. Christian Horner hasn't talked to us.
We are the drama. Cardi B, am I the drama?
That entire interaction is why no one tells us any drama. Can we talk about Franz Hermann?
Huh?
Can we talk about Franz Hermann?
Okay.
You know who Franz Hermann is, right?
For sure.
Tell me about Franz Hermann.
He is a cousin of the person who created the Hellman's brand.
Herman, not Hellman's.
You fucking idiot. You think he invented mayonnaise. You think I said Franz Hellmann? I said it about 3 times.
I didn't hear it.
Well, not long ago, the motorsport community was taken a surprise.
Oh.
They were taken aback.
Oh.
They were taken agog.
Oh.
Taken aghast.
Oh.
They were taken by surprise as an unfamiliar driver, Franz Hermann, set a blistering track record on the Nürburgring, widely considered the most challenging circuit. The intrigue surrounding this mysterious German driver was palpable. Racing fans and enthusiasts were captivated by this unknown name appearing on one of motorsport's most legendary venues. Who was it? Why was it? Where were they? Well, they're at the Nürburgring, but you know what I mean. And where did they come from?
Where did they come from? Where did they go?
Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? What the fuck? Why is Zazu singing? Do you remember Zazu?
I don't know who that is.
That bird in Lion King.
That bird was fruity.
It was Rowan Atkinson.
Yeah, but he was the character was fruity.
Oh.
He'd be like, oh, Mufasa.
That's so true.
Anyway.
Oh, now I want to watch Lion King.
We totally can. Oh, I just can't wait to begin. Whum.
Back on track.
Yeah.
Where's the Nürburgring?
Germany.
Yeah.
It's not a race circuit that they use in F1, although I think they did in 2020 because of the fact that there were so few venues that they were able to race at because of COVID. And a few drivers were just like, yeah, bring her back.
Do you want me to reveal the true identity of Franz Hermann or keep it a secret for the rest of time?
No, reveal it.
Come closer. It was Max Verstappen.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn.
The 4-time world champion was testing his skills in a Ferrari 296 GT3, despite initial intentions to cloak his identity. The secret didn't survive very long. Racing fans were quick to uncover the truth behind the alias, and Verstappen had chosen the German-sounding name Franz Hermann to attempt to race anonymously at the iconic German circuit, hoping to fly under the radar while gaining experience.
Ooh.
So, his venture into GT racing territory signals an imminent debut in the GT class. However, the anticipated new chapter also heralds the probable end for Franz Hermann, RIP. We loved him. He shined so bright. But Max Verstappen impressively won at his GT3 endurance race debut.
As Franz Hermann.
As himself.
Oh.
Who dropped the act.
Yeah.
The jig was up.
The jig was up.
Yeah.
So he dropped the act and now he's just identifying as himself.
Fair.
In between the Monza and Baku F1 races, Verstappen went to the Nürburgring to earn a license to race in the GT3 category by racing a Porsche GT4 car, and then 2 weeks later he won on his GT3 race debut, and he did stints, so it's an endurance race. So there was 2 drivers of the same car and they took it in stints, so he would drive it for a few hours and the other guy would take over, and they dominated against the field that featured more than 100 cars, and Verstappen started from 3rd but took to the lead at the first corner and impressively opened up a lead of more than 1 minute during his stint in the car.
Damn.
That's very impressive.
Didn't you say Oliver Behrman during the summer break also disguised his identity and went to race in something?
That was for a YouTube video.
I was going to say
Not the same fucking thing.
That was a go-karting YouTube video.
Never mind.
He could race in the Nürburgring 24 hours race next year and potentially Le Mans.
24 hours race.
Yeah, but you do it in stints. Again, you split it out with a team partner. My point is that Max Verstappen lives, breathes, eats and sleeps racing. And the fact that he's had such an upturn in performance, I wonder if the whole thing around him doing other series is, if the car isn't that competitive next year, will he continue to go off and do other series and just enjoy racing?
I personally think he was just looking for a bit of fun.
Well, he actually said, for me, it's important to be able to do those things outside of F1. Of course, how much I can do during an F1 season is a bit tricky. Also, next year, new regulations. It's already hard enough in Formula 1. But yeah, we'll just see how everything goes. It depends on how next season goes with the new rules. It's impossible to say now if I can compete in other things outside of that. It could be that if the Red Bull car isn't that fast, fine. I've got other things to do. I don't care. I've won 4 championships. I just love racing.
I wonder if maybe his point is more around the fact that a lot of the drivers in their contracts, they have clauses that prohibit them from doing other things. Like, a lot of them will have clauses in their contracts that have things like you're not allowed to ski because it can be dangerous and stuff like that, and a lot of them ignore that clause and continue to do things like Lewis is a prolific skydiver.
Nico Hulkenberg and Fernando Alonso, they competed in the Le Mans 24-hour race.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of them will have clauses in their contract that prohibit them from doing other things that might put them in danger. So I wonder if it's maybe more about that. I think maybe because he's not or wasn't really in the championship battle, it was kind of like, well, who gives a fuck if I, break an arm or something?
Yeah, fair.
Let me go do this. But if next year he's like on track to win the championship, he's not going to be fucking around with other stuff.
No, I agree. His main focus is Formula 1.
Yeah.
And he'll want to get another title and make it, tally 5. But I also think that the fact that he is able to be winning races, and today he got P2, but he's obviously won Baku last week, and then goes off and his first attempt wins at one of the
first attempt is crazy.
Yeah, wins at one of the most challenging circuits in a completely different series in downtime for Formula 1, whilst he's also people are starting to get excitable that maybe Max can get himself back into the championship contention sort of realm. I think it just shows like the level that Max is at. I really respect it.
Yeah.
I also want to get some Franz Hermann merch because I think they're making some.
Nice. Have you seen the stuff with Williams and I want to say either Sparkles or Sprinkles?
To my mind, that you're talking about a hamster or something?
Unicorn. So close. So Williams have started a series called Call Carbono, which is Carlos and Albon's ship name.
Cute.
And
I fucking live for that.
it's so cute. But there was a girl called Thea, who is a very young British girl, who submitted a very important dilemma to the boys. And she had designed a unicorn. And she asked whether or not the unicorn should be called Sparkles or Sprinkles. She also floated the idea of whether or not they should put the unicorn on their helmets for an upcoming race. And whilst...
What a manipulative little cow. Wow.
So if Thea sent in a drawing of her unicorn, Carlos said that he would wear it. And as a man of his word, he wore a sticker of the unicorn on his helmet in the Baku Grand Prix. And obviously he then went to get himself on the podium for that race. So, very, very big deal indeed. And he's since put the unicorn sticker also on his trophy that he got.
It was his good luck charm.
You must be so proud of him right now.
I am. What a cutie.
Yeah.
So I can announce that the unicorn has been named, and the unicorn is called Sparkles.
Oh!
because everyone on like socials and stuff absolutely loved Sparkles and this unicorn and the fact that Carlos wore it on his helmet and it's now on the P3 trophy for the last race. The Williams team have announced and released Sparkles the Unicorn merch.
Are you taking the piss? I want to buy some right now.
It must be said the kids' merch is cuter than the adults' merch.
Oh.
So you can get either a pink or a white t-shirt for adults, and it is the back of Carlos's helmet with the sticker on it.
Can you show us a picture?
I can. I'll show you the pink. So this is the front of the t-shirt.
Oh my god, that's
so
really cool.
cute.
So the front.
So it's not like a massive thing. That's actually okay. So she's holding. Oh my god. I wanted to try and explain it, but also it's so cute. Okay.
Sparkles is holding a tire.
She's holding a little Pirelli tire on the left hand part of the chest, and on the right hand part of the chest is the Williams logo. And I want to die. It's so cute.
That's so cute.
And on the back of the t-shirt, you have Carlos's helmet with the sticker, and it says "Powered by Sparkles."
Oh,
I am obsessed.
I want that.
And she comes in baby pink or white, and she is actually not that expensive.
Should we ask Williams to do a sponsorship deal for this episode? Because we are just promoting their merch.
So the t-shirts are only 28 quid.
That's not bad.
And for 25 quid is the kids' t-shirts, which I personally think are much cuter. And they come in baby pink or baby blue. And they are just a pattern on the front. And it's, again, the picture of Sparkles holding the tyre. And it says, "The world's fastest unicorn powered by Sparkles."
Oh, that's so cute.
That's so cute.
What I want to know is how much of the profits are going to Thea. Oh, the website does say, I was about to be a shady queen, but...
You were about to be, you were just a shady queen.
They've given an insight. It just says a portion of all revenues will go to Thea and her family.
Oh.
Too right.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's actually incredibly wholesome, and I think that is a mark of what the Williams, especially the fact that they're a family homegrown team,
Yeah.
and the fact that they've got such nice people working there. That is so cute. I love that.
Do you want to know another wholesome thing about Williams?
Yeah.
About one of the Williams drivers? Alex Albon adopted one of the stray cats from Baku.
Oh, he got a Baku cat.
Yeah.
What did he name it? Because
I
he's
have no
got like
idea.
really cute names for his pets.
Ferrari.
What?
Ferrari.
Ferrari.
Yeah.
Ferrari. Oh.
I was about to be like TMZ, and I was like, it's Ferrari.
That's so cute.
That is very cute.
I mean, Albon basically has a farm. He doesn't have pets. He has like a whole zoo.
he has a lot of animals.
Yeah. He's got horses, he's got cats, he's got dogs.
Oh.
I think he has a duck somewhere.
Nice.
Williams, I know we have our Grand Prix scale. I think Williams should be crowned the most wholesome team.
Oh,
in
for
F1.
sure.
Yeah, I hear it. Isaac Hadjar would fit in great.
Yes.
Yes. Isaac, go to Williams,
Yeah.
not Red Bull.
He's like, no. Should we do Reams recap?
Yes.
Reams recap!
Oh, you did that so
Nice.
much better than I was going to do it. Well done.
Oh, no, you do it.
I don't want to.
Go on.
I'm going.
Go on. Should we do it together? Let's harmonise. I'll go high, you go low.
Okay, fine.
3, 2, 1. Reams recap!
Very nice.
Thank you.
You guys need to throw
Oh,
things.
yeah.
We do this
We
every
do.
time.
Franz
Nice.
Herman!
Oh, Max Verstappen caught having an alias. Alias? Is that how you say it? Alias.
Nom de plume.
What?
Nom de plume.
What?
Pseudonym.
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 Max.
So a fake name can either be called an alias, a nom de plume, or a pseudonym.
Max Verstappen caught having a fake identity.
Max Verstappen has an identity crisis.
Called Franz Herman, not to be confused with Franz Hellman.
Dead
he either did it to potentially move to other forms of racing post F1 or just for funsies. We will find out never, because I think he's quite a private person, so I don't think he'll ever share why he said it. Oh, Williams gets named the most wholesome team in F1 because
They don't.
by us. when they've chosen the name of a unicorn drawn by a fan, and then also created merch off of it, which is looking a little bit shady, profiting off of that. But also, very cute T-shirts. We will certainly be buying them when we have money.
Champions crown.
McLaren wins the Constructors Championship for 2025. Who could guess that?
George Russell wins!
George Russell has a fantastic race, but yeah, he still doesn't have a contract, so like, what's going on?
Ferrari brakes!
Lewis Hamilton has issues with his brakes towards the end of the race, and he gets a
Heat warning!
Singapore's hot.
Oscar Piastri's kind of sulky.
What's new about Oscar Piastri? He's
Lap 1 collision with the Papaya cars.
Lando Norris is dangerous on
Max
the track.
Verstappen gets P2.
Max Verstappen once again has a very good race.
Antonelli's doing a lot better.
He's gotten rid of Antonelli's gotten rid of his
How'd you the cute?
Oh, remains cute.
That was a good recap, I reckon.
I think so too.
I think everyone would have gotten a lot of information out of that.
Yeah.
How did you find it?
More than the actual podcast.
Yeah.
Reem, how did you find it?
I thought I was
It's time for the Grand Prix podium!
Woo!
Hey Reem, knock knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting podcaster.
Did you have to-
Well.
You are a child.
She found it really funny.
You are both children.
Oh, that means we can buy the Williams merch on discount.
£3. Right, as we all know, the format for this section is that we will name who in this race was a prick, awful, grand, they did all right, and grand prick, as good as this podcast. And as usual, we will start with prick. 3, 2, 1.
McLaren
Nico
team.
Hülkenberg. Wait, okay. You said the McLaren team.
Yeah.
They
well,
just
not
won
the drivers,
the championship.
not the drivers.
You mean the
But
team that's won the
the-
Constructors
the-
Championship back-to-back this year and last year?
Listen, besides that,
With a 300-point lead.
besides that, I mean, based on the decisions they've been making and the whole Papaya rules bullshit and how they've prioritized Norris in this race, and gotten Piastri.
I
to
went
be
for Oscar
sulky.
Piastri.
Why?
I thought he was pretty foul today, actually.
Oh, okay.
I didn't like the cut of his jib.
I think he was rightfully sulky.
Yeah.
I think that if he... Oh yeah, you're right.
But see, he was sulky because of the McLaren team that are making the decisions, which is why they should be prick.
But I can't go against Andrea Stella. He's got a lovely voice.
And
Go
Zach
against
Brown.
Zach Brown.
What?
Zach Brown.
Can't go against Zach Brown.
Listen, on this occasion,
No! Who did you go for?
I said Nico Hülkenberg.
Why? Because he spun once.
Yes, but
He didn't spun
because
twice.
he didn't
No.
cause a big yellow flag.
No, but the issue is like I thought everyone drove really well.
Agreed.
There's no one that I can really point out as having like a poo-poo race, but he was the only one that had like a major like blip.
I don't think... I wasn't dissatisfied with anyone this race.
Yeah. So
I thought it was-
McLaren team.
What about the Singapore Grand Prix? It wasn't that exciting. What about the safety car? Did fuck all.
Lazy.
I can't think of anyone this race that was prick. That's like screaming out to me.
Yeah. I can go for the McLaren strategy team.
Yeah, I mean, people hate us on social media, but sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Rage baiting is a thing nowadays.
Yeah.
Okay, who performed grand? 3, 2, 1.
Alex
Kimi
Albon.
Antonelli. Oh, okay, we've all gone different again. I said Kimi Antonelli because, yes, he started 4th and went down to 5th, losing out a position, obviously, to Norris. But I'm really proud of how he's got his pep in his step back and he's performing a lot better. And I thought the fact that he qualified 4th ahead of Norris, I thought was really, really good, and I'm proud of him.
Yeah, I think he's always going to be a bit of a few car lengths behind George in terms of qualifying performance.
He is a
and
rookie
just-
after all.
Yeah, and on-track performance. But I think relative to George, I think he's done a fantastic job. And when it came to the pit stops, for example, they basically did a double stack.
Yeah.
So, even though there was a massive gap in where they were on track, it wasn't like Kimi Antonelli was fighting in the midfield. He was very much in the mix. And he was fighting against the Ferraris and was trying to hunt down some of the McLarens. Comparative to some of his other performances this year, where he did, as you say, sort of fall into a bit of a negative momentum rut.
Yes.
I think he's successfully crawled out of that and is now sort of back to air.
Yes. Who did you say?
I said Max Verstappen.
Okay.
I don't think that we're realising how fantastic the turnaround from Red Bull is happening. I think the hullabaloo of there being Christian Horner leaving, the McLaren's dominating, Yuki Tsunoda, not having the best performances, and this very tricky car, I think that we all just settled into the fact that, that's that, Max isn't really anywhere at the minute. He does his best, but, not much. And he's had a fantastic upturn of performance. Yeah. And I think even today, he was so unhappy with the balance of that car. He had downshift issues. He seemed really unhappy. And even at one point said, please help, to his engineer, which is very unlike Max. He's normally very, very... yes, he can be, up and down with his mood, but when he's happy in that car, he goes hell for leather. But today, he was sitting in front of Lando Norris, with Lando Norris desperately trying to get past him. And apart from one alongside moment that Lando got, Max controlled that beautifully. Yeah. And he didn't panic, didn't make any silly mistakes. He brought it home. And P2, for a very tricky car and a very temperamental car, he's had to do a lot of daring strategies, starting on the soft tyre, for example, and gamble quite a lot. And it's been paying off because Max is so fantastic at driving. So I think that today didn't seem like a fantastic, amazing race from Max Verstappen, but I actually think it was a great race from him.
Yeah. I'll give you that. And Reem, who did you say?
Alex Albon.
Okay, explain.
Because he started in the pit lane and he finished in P14. Still outside of the points, but I thought it was pretty impressive that he managed to get that many places up. But to be fair, my second choice was Max Verstappen.
Fair enough.
Okay, so should we go with Max?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, and finally, to declare Grand Prix, whose performance this race was as good as our podcast. 3, 2, 1. George Russell. Yeah, it had to be done.
I'm sorry, I know it's a boring answer for people listening, but that was a fantastic fucking drive from George. Yeah. He has a bit of a Leclerc-esque way of carrying on sometimes. And by that, it's a very unkind way of me saying that they sometimes make sloppy, silly, self-inflicted mistakes when the pressure's on or the performance needs to be on point. And today, he had a champion's drive, I would say. I think it was a really fantastic race. He was able to pull out a lead that I wasn't expecting. The Mercedes car typically seems to work very well in cooler conditions because they struggle with tyre temps, and yet today it seemed to really work. He said that some of the track had been resurfaced, which meant it smoothed out some of those bumps, and their car didn't seem to struggle as much with the overheating. And when he's got the conditions right and the car is in the window, fuck me, he did fantastically.
Yeah. So that's unanimous then. We don't need to discuss that one. Right, so we put the McLaren pit wall as our pricks. We put Max Verstappen as Grand and George Russell as Grand Prix of the Singapore Grand Prix.
Well deserved, I think.
And that's it for this race week. And next week, there is no race.
Oh.
But that means that you get another deep dive episode.
Woo-hoo!
And for the next deep dive episode, we have already discussed this.
Seconds before you've just said it. But through the magic of post, you won't know that.
The episode is Hero or Villain.
Dun, 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 dun.
We will be looking at some influential figures in the F1 world and deciding whether or not they have been good or bad for the sport.
It's very Christmas.
And we are Santa Claus.
Yes.
Naughty or nice got you. Okay. Took a while.
Yeah, we've been recording a while again.
Yeah. So you will hear that in your ears next week. And until then, please make sure you like, follow, share, subscribe, all the nice things to the podcast on your podcast player of choice. You do all of the same on your socials. We are on Instagram, Twitter, X is Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. If you have any thoughts, feelings, or anything that you want to share with us, do drop us a message, leave a comment. Reem, your mouth is open. What?
We're a very short period away from the Independent Podcast Awards.
Yes.
Where we've been shortlisted.
Yes.
And we will find out if we are going to win the sports category or not. Either way, we're going to be celebrating.
Yes.
Very true. So keep an eye on that because we'll be posting if we have one on socials. And if we did not win, we'll be silent for that evening.
We'll be drinking our sorrows, I think.
And I did a reckless thing on Monday, which you'll be finding out about on your socials as well.
Oh my god, yeah! Like a life-altering thing.
Yeah, so you'll find out about that on socials. Not that I, like to leave things on a cliffhanger, but